Hi, everybody. Alright, so we're going to be doing a bunch of wiring jobs and planning and a whole bunch of stuff in the next 5 minutes. I can't even tell you all the things that we're going to do because there's so many. This is me doing up the very final work on redoing all of the molex for the fly LEDs, which we sort of started in the last two videos. So this is the main connector that goes to the control board, right? We had been using, if you look down on the table, you can see the giant molex connectors that I've cut off. Those are the ones we had been using. Now I've gotten something much more sensible that don't suck. That's the thing about molex. Molex can suck. Don't get the tiny ass little ones. There's like, I think it's 23,000th scale. It's minuscule. It's for, 22s to 26 gauge wires. You can't even see the crimpers. Right? Then there's 069's not bad. I think 96 is the best one, or 92, sorry. 0.092, that's a decent size. That basically covers everything that you're going to need in the plane. But the 062s, oh no, it's 062s. Those are good because those can do 22s to 18s. And the crimps and terminals are generally big enough so that you don't have any problem connecting them together. So, okay, so now that we've got the pumps and everything in, I believe you had seen me putting on the Adel clamps. So I'm Adel clamping the return fuel line to the main fuel line that's going, from the fuel selector through the fuel filter and back into the fuel pumps. A friend of mine came by, Mr. Victor, and said, look, you really should secure that long flexible fuel line because that thing's been vibrating all over the place. So I had originally put a pair of Adel clamps between the two. He came by, he said, you know what, it wouldn't hurt to put one more pair in, so I did, and it's all good. That you just saw. You can also see the amount of wiring that's starting to come through, so get ready for the rat's nest, because it's going to be bad. There's several different ways that you can tackle the wiring, and I hope with all these sage words of wisdom that I'm dropping that you hear me and don't pay attention to all that crackle in the corner there. It's awful. So yeah, the two thoughts for doing the wiring, right, is, of course, you cut more than you need, obviously. And then a lot of people, what they do is they wire up all of the terminal ends. So, like the connector that goes into the wing, you wire that up, right? The connector that goes to the tail cone, you wire that up. And then you take all that wire and then you basically leave a service loop, but then you bring all the slack up towards the panel. And then once you've got all your avionics going around, then you put all that wiring up there together and everything makes a nice cohesive backbone and everything is good. I did it the opposite way, right? So I've wired a whole bunch of stuff. As you can see, that's a whole bunch of cable I got in my hand. I believe that's part of the engine monitor. So I wired up the terminals for the engine monitor, and then I shove them down through the fuselage, and then I leave all the slack at the terminal end. Which is fine, except I really can't do the full amount of, positioning the cable at the terminal end until I've got the avionics in place so I can see exactly where that, where that D-sub connector is going to be, how much slack do I need behind the panel, etc., etc. Is it wire tied off, yes or no? So that is one way to do it. I just fear I've done it the wrong way. Yep, so this is it. So from now on, all these wires you see me putting in aren't coming out. And a few more videos, actually, no, I think we're going to, so in the near future, we're going to be starting on the canopy, which is awesome. And then after that, we're going to get into really putting more of this wire in. So this is just like one of the first few experiments with it. But, oh man, it's going to get harsh. See, speaking of, so this is where I'm pushing the lines through. I'm sort of trying to guesstimate, where these G3X system boxes are going to go as to where the wire goes, right? And how much slack I need. It's not easy. Pain in the ass is what it is. All right, everyone have a good rest of the week. For anyone out in San Francisco Bay Area, I'm feeling your pain. It's too hot. going to cool down, but man, it's hot now. I'm just completely sweating. I'm going to go have a drink. You have a good night. Thanks for joining me. See you soon.